Good afternoon, everyone. This meeting of the City Council is now called to order. Ms. Linder, please call the roll.
Mayor Buck,
Here.
Councilors Mans,
Here.
Mbu,
Here.
Wendland,
Here.
Wynn,
Here.
Burdick,
Here.
and Rupp.
I'm here.
Now, everyone, please rise and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. All right, first up on our agenda today, we have a presentation, legislative updates. We'll ask Ms. Thiesing to come forward, and then who's going to deliver a legislative update on the 2022 short session. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. I'm Madison Thiesing, Assistant to the City Manager. For my presentation, I will be providing a final recap for the 2022 legislative session. It'll be a short overview. As noted in the Council report, the 2022 legislative short session concluded on March 4th. I had called out in the Council report some bills to note that either impact the city or things that are on our radar, but I did want to highlight 3 bills specifically to the council for this presentation. Those are the REACH Code, the System Development Charge Study, and the Housing Investments Package. So number 1, the Local Option REACH Code was presented back in the winter, by Sustainability Manager Amanda Watson. Through the legislation process, it went from potentially being a local option code that we could adopt locally for high efficiency buildings to further our climate action goals. That morphed quite a bit since Amanda was here. It is now a task force, so from a potential build to a full-on study. And it's something we're going to be watching closely for the 2023 session. So the task force will be coming together from now until winter. They will be providing a study and recommendation to the legislative body about what type of options could be a potential for local adoption. And then when it gets reintroduced in 2023, we are going to be watching that and supporting that like we had done in the past, being just this last session. But I think that's a great proof how a bill can get introduced and change drastically by the end. So it went from a bill to a task force to a study. The second one I wanted to call out was the System Development Charge. This was something that was introduced in last session. We had provided feedback that we would like the study to include more than just the local government impact to system development charges related to housing affordability and housing stock. So the idea was that they were going to do a study, and the system development charges are either hindering or making it unaffordable to build housing. Our feedback last session was that there's a lot more to it than just system development charges. There's labor costs, there's equipment, there's all these things that are really creating, I hate to say it, but the supply chain issue for housing. And so with that feedback last session, they reintroduced it for the 2022 session, incorporated that feedback that we provided as well as the league and many, many cities. So that study is going to go underway the same year, which will be then the bill, like the REACH Code, will be reintroduced for 2023 based off of those recommendations. So that was a big win for last session and this session, and then hopefully for next, so 2023. The third one I wanted to call out specifically was the Housing Investments Package. As called out in the council report, there was a $400 million package directed towards housing and homeless services. The idea is that that's going to be going to the local level especially. Since I had my council report submitted, I followed up with Clackamas County. They are going to be getting $2 million for shelter capacity, so their portion is going to be largely homeless services. I'm having a hard time finding where the housing piece of that dollar is going and the supporting home ownership. It's looking like it's going to be administered at the state level, so I'm going to just do a little bit more digging just because of what our needs are in our community are a lot more housing based than homeless services. We will continue to direct that to the county. At this time, we're not bringing that as a city service here. So that's what the update is for that package. Last thing that was not included in the council report, but I think it's worth calling out, was as a part of the revenue package, there was $200 million for workforce development. And that is going to be going largely through local workforce development programs, universities, and apprenticeships. We may not see that dollar directly sent to our local level. However, there's 20 million in apprenticeships through Bully. DEI manager Gillian Del Rio has been watching that, and so we're going to be looking at what opportunities can we offer as an internship or an apprenticeship to the trades locally, because we don't necessarily have those workforce development nonprofits locally as through, I'm thinking of a WorkSource and things like that. So we might be offering opportunities more or less than gaining the dollars here, and that's one thing we're going to be watching. So that's kind of just a short recap of the 2022 session. For preparation for the long session, I'll be coming back this fall, which with an agenda, which will be based in the council goals and the transportation master plan, parks plan, and really looking at it more comprehensively. Last session was my first time doing this, so the next session I'm hoping to dig a little deeper on what our agenda is going to be. So with that, is there any questions?
Questions?
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. So before I wrap up, I actually have two more items.
Pictures?
Pictures? No, I don't have my phone on me, but we have a happy 5-month-old baby boy. So
Yeah.
Grayson Owen Grindy, and he's with dad right now. So, you know, taking care of business here. So the last two things I did want to mention is our ARPA grants are now open. So I know I have the floor. Charity Taylor has been taking the lead, but since I have the floor, I would like to just at least call that out. Those are open. So for nonprofits looking to apply, we have the application, the FAQ, and last week's information presentation on the city's website. So just putting it out there. And the second item, following up from last meeting, the Oregon State Marine Board did adopt a temporary ruling for the lower half of the Willamette River. This is calling out personal watercrafts with the decibel limit at 75. This is a temporary, it will run through October. And in that meantime, they're going to be reaching out to stakeholders and cities on what would be a long-term solution for the Willamette Falls to Portland area for the water usage for personal watercrafts. So that is just an update from last meeting, and that is all I have.
Okay. Councilor Wendland.
Yes.
So I am interested in, what was it, the $20 million for internships?
Yes, 20 million for apprenticeships through Bully. So it's trades.
Okay, good. And I just wanted to mention that the city was well represented at the high school job fair. And I heard nothing but wonderful things from all kinds of people, from both the high school and from other people, the other recruiters that were up there and people that were showing what careers were all about. I do think with the pending shortage of people that are in the trades, having the internship program to show them what city life is like and all the intricacies. A lot of people don't realize that we have a lot of people on staff that do a lot of great work in this city that because they do such great work, people don't know what they're doing, which is kind of the way it should be. But I'd be interested to know, even though we may not get funding, it'd be great to have outreach in those areas and if we can afford an internship for the summer or something in Public Works. I know we have it kind of in the central office part, but anything we can do to expose kids that don't necessarily want to go to college but get into the trades would be fabulous. So.
Megan's here. We have seasonal employment in parks and public works. So there are opportunities for folks who want to test out those kinds of careers to come in and work for a summer. I know we have a lot of college-age folks who do those jobs for the summer. So encourage the parents and friends and family members of those age folks to get their kids working. Also, the Parks Department has I would say a range too. You don't just have to do parks work. You could do recreation work and be a camp counselor. So there's lots of different choices for young people.
And Ms. Thiessen, in regards to the council's goal, and we're kind of future legislative agenda and the council's goal towards climate resiliency. I know the community would really like to see us lead the way on that gas-powered lawn equipment. So any efforts, I think we're really going to have to come together with other cities to lobby the legislature to, advance a bill forward to ban that sale, which has been difficult, in past years. So the more work we can do countywide, region-wide, working with, our other cities, the mayor's consortium as well, I know wants to see that go forward. So hopefully we can be good leaders on that.
Really.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And with that, it leads us into our proclamation for Earth Day 2022. Earth Day is an awareness about the importance of environmental protection and to appreciate how all of us rely on a healthy environment, including clean air, clean water, and diverse ecosystems to thrive. The city of Lake Oswego has long recognized the need to provide services to our community in a way that meets the needs of the present without sacrificing the ability of future generations to also meet their needs. We have a sustainability plan for city operations. It's been in place since 2007. And then, of course, in 2020, we adopted the citywide climate action goals with our sustainability and climate action plan. We're already experiencing the impacts of climate change here in Oregon. I mean, we see this right every year, every resident. Ongoing drought, extreme weather events like the heat wave last year, devastating wildfires, and communities, economies, and ecosystems across the globe, are all affected. So the latest climate science tells us we have a very narrow window to make systemic changes needed to secure a livable future. So with that, the history of Earth Day just reminds us we can all play a role in addressing the climate crisis. We have to play a role in addressing the climate crisis, and that every action from the small to the large is important. We do have a couple of exciting ways to commemorate and celebrate Earth Day this year, and one is taking place this weekend, the 24th, this Sunday, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is something new. It is the Sustainability Resource Fair. We have some of our sustainability community members here in the room, but that is thanks to the Sustainability Advisory Board in partnership with the Lake Oswego Sustainability Network and the Oswego Watershed Council, all working together to put that together, and we appreciate their efforts and their coordination very much. At that same fair, there's a tool exchange as well. Folks can bring in their gas-powered equipment and recycle that in exchange for electric equipment, which is not free, but there is a discount. There's a discount. There's giving discount. So that's thanks to PGE. Your best friend, Councilor Boop, is going to be there doing that. We also, of course, have EcoHome LO, which is our new residential sustainability certification program. Really, no other city has this. It's very unique, and we're really rolling this out, just providing residents. It's a great way to introduce residents to different tools from the small to the large in terms of how they can make choices at home in daily life to help with improve the climate. So we'll be signing this Earth Day 2022 proclamation. And thank you, everyone, for your efforts in helping the city celebrate this. Okay. Now we are going to move right into public comment. I think there are the three of you here, Stephanie Wagner, Dorothy Atwood, and Larry Zucker. Please come forward. You're together, yeah? And we can pull we'll pull a third chair.
I can grab this one.
Oh, look at that.
You go first.
That's right. Welcome to the three of you. Hi.
Well, it's great to be here. I'm Dorothy Atwood. I live at 16355 White Oaks Drive, Lake Oswego, and I'm also a founder and on the board of Lake Oswego Sustainability Network. And I'm here to say thank you and to extend an invitation. Thank you, Mayor Buck, for that lovely proclamation, Earth Day, and thank you, Mayor, and all you council members for your commitment to sustainability. It's great to see the council goals reflecting all three main pillars of sustainability, not only environmental stewardship, but also social equity through diversity, equity, and inclusion, and economic vitality. So I'm really excited about that. Mayor Buck did mention the Lake Oswego Sustainability Resource Fair this Sunday, and I would like to invite all of you to be there. I'd also like to extend a special invitation to Councilor Wendland. I'm really looking forward to a time when we can have community solar and he and I can jointly invest financially into some kind of community solar project in our city. Hopefully it will be sooner rather than later. I don't have that check that he suggested that I bring the last time I was here for $500,000 for solar on the recreation building. However, I thought this might be a nice compromise.
Okay, I'll write a check for $250,000 if you match me.
Ooh, okay, we'll talk afterwards about that.
Thank you.
Hello, Mayor Buck, City Council. I'm Larry Zerker with the Lake Oswego School District. I am a teacher on special assignment, or a TOSA, that is focusing on sustainability. So it's a new position that we've had. I've been a teacher in the district since the 90s, but I'm excited to be in this new role. And what we're excited about is growing and being more explicit with our partnerships with the city. Working with Amanda to help to bring about the Sustainability Resource Fair, with the Sustainability Network, and with the Watershed Council. These partnerships are really important to giving our students opportunities to grow and to explore and to build our community. So with our school district, part of our strategic plan, one of the focuses is with sustainability, how we behave, how we teach, and how we build. And at the Sustainability Resource Fair, there's a big part of that where we're gonna be able to really show how, through the efforts of the bond and through our building practice, how this building was designed in order to be on the path to net zero, to explore the options that we have, or the bidding process to install solar on our building for this summer. That's going to help lead to, and then also just have the partnerships within the community, because there's so many resources out here that it's going to be just a great opportunity for us to really share that different information.
I think we neglected to tell you where this invitation was and where the resource fair is. It's at Lake Ridge Middle School, and if you haven't been there, it's something that even if you don't see the 20+ community organizations, from Respond to Racism to our 4 organizations, we hope you get to see that. There'll be tours at that building.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm Stephanie Wagner. I'm the one of the founders of the Lake Oswego Watershed Council. And I'm here to really thank you, Council, for your commitment to sustainability and to natural resource protection. I really want to thank you for including specific goals in your goal setting, that we are actually reviewing the community urban forestry plan, and that we'll have a management plan for our natural resources. It's going to be a huge contribution to how we take care of and think about sustainably managing resources in our community. I also want to thank you for the amazing partnership that we're developing with the fire department. We received a pretty substantial grant through the Watershed Council to look at hazardous fuel reduction up in the Mountain Park area. So it's a partnership with the fire department, with the HOA up in Mountain Park, and the Watershed Council, to really think about how we look at the impact of potential wildfire in our community. And hopefully it's a pilot project for a Firewise program that we can help roll out throughout the entire community. And I want to thank you for your ongoing support through the Habitat Enhancement Program that has really helped the Watershed Council reach out and make a significant impact on protecting natural resources in private properties. So working both with HOAs in larger projects like a substantial oak release project over in the Westlake area, to things on smaller properties that have allowed us to use working contiguously down through neighborhoods to actually enhance and have people become more aware of how all of us protect this planet. And I was a mother of a 10-day-old baby girl on the very first Earth Day, and thinking about how we continue that commitment to taking care of our natural resources is a huge part of what we are as a community. And so I encourage you to come. We will obviously be at the Sustainability Fair. And what I want you to do is to come and get your undies for Soil Your Undies. So all of us are starting to learn about the importance of soil and carbon sequestration and in having a robust, healthy urban ecosystem. So I invite all of you to come and pick up your undies and soil your undies with us so that we can learn more about that important part of how our ecosystem functions. So thank you so much for all you do.
Well, thank you very much, all three of you. We really appreciate your leadership and the opportunities you provide to members of the community to be able to make a difference, in their own backyard. And I know Stephanie was just at a guest at Sustainability Advisory Board last night, providing lots of good information from the Watershed Council to that group. And LOSN School District, of course, as well. The resources you provide makes a big difference in the community. We certainly are a better city for all the work you do. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. Okay, well, we are moving right into the consent agenda. We have
Mayor, excuse me. We have Greg Aaron's on.
Pardon me. We have one of our community members here on Zoom, Greg Aaron. Mr. Aaron. So sorry.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Thank you for meeting with me and allowing me to speak. Wanted to start a conversation on ongoing safety concerns on and around Country Club Road between Boones Ferry and Iron Mountain Boulevard. By way of context, it's 1.2 miles between Hazel Road and Iron Mountain Boulevard with no stops or traffic calming, and this really encourages speeding. And on this stretch, there's Lake Oswego Junior and Senior High Schools, 3 churches and a synagogue, 49 homes with driveways directly on Country Club Road, 52 homes where entry and egress is only onto Country Club via 8 intersections, and additional intersecting roads such as Goodall and Mouse Drive. Crossing and walking along Country Club Road is extremely dangerous for walkers, runners, cyclists, and crossing is especially hazardous any time of day or night. This includes for children, adults, and seniors who do regularly cross. There's a TriMet stop, a church, and a Lake Oswego school bus stop at Southwest Redwood Court, and motorists more than occasionally fail to stop for the school bus, even with the bus's own stop signs. Country Club Road is recommended as a safe and scenic route in the official Lake Oswego Pathways Guide, highlighted as a route to travel safely by foot, bicycle, or inline skates. However, vehicles often travel very close or on the bicycle lane, and sometimes partially in the bike lanes, as you can see with this large truck. Pedestrians, runners, and cyclists often must hug the edge of the shoulder of the road to avoid being hit. The sidewalk on the north side of Country Club Road is very uneven with rough surfaces holding obstacles. And as you can see in this photo, subject to vehicles that sometimes leave the road, and took out this mailbox in this case. Motor vehicles on Country Club Road often travel above and sometimes well above the posted speed limit, making it even more hazardous for walkers, runners, cyclists, and vehicles to safely cross, enter, or exit. And we have seen serious accidents in the recent past, including the last one and this dog hit just 2 weeks ago on Country Club Road. Some of the things that I've thought about and in talking with others could help is, for example, a crosswalk with warning lights at Southwest Redwood Court, proximal to the Metro bus stops, Lake Oswego school bus stops, and the church. Considering a crosswalk at Uplands and Goodall intersection, lower speed limits or implement speed controls. I'm not sure exactly, but traffic calming, speed cameras, enforcement, better protecting bike lanes, and repairing and improving the hazardous sidewalk on the north side of Country Club Road. This is where I would propose a first crosswalk location at Redwood Drive Bridge Court, where the school bus and TriMet stops are, and you can see the Christian Science Church there as well. And so a crosswalk with flashing lights, such as here near downtown Lake Oswego, could be very helpful and could help illuminate and make safe crossing really helpful, and signal to motorists that they should provide some caution in traveling in order to maintain the wonderful lifestyle and safety that we have here in Lake Oswego. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. We'll follow up with you. We can connect you with our transportation folks. You know, the city has a transportation system plan that would be the first step to see what, if any of these improvements you're talking about are in the plan. And actually that Transportation Advisory Board is going to be updating our transportation system plan, so we can provide you with a way to get in front of them to articulate these thoughts as the kind of first step in the creation of project lists across the city that that we then aim to fund over time. So thank you so much. We appreciate the thought you put into that presentation.
Yep. Thank you. That's very, very helpful.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Linder. Everyone, was that the good? Okay. Okay. So we will now move into the consent agenda. We have a contract award for the 2022 annual water rehabilitation project. We have the approval of meeting minutes for February 15th, and we have Resolution 22-11, which ratifies our collective bargaining agreement between the Lake Oswego Police Officers Association and the City of Lake Oswego. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
You, Councilor Mans, Councilor Raff, seconding
Yes.
from afar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, that motion passes 7-0. All right. And now we are moving into information from council. If anyone has anything, please give me the signal. I'll just start us off with the board and commission recruitment, which just opened up, I think maybe yesterday. And so applications are open through May 31st. We encourage everyone, this is our annual board and commission recruitment. We encourage all members of the community to give these opportunities to serve on our boards and commissions. They're serious consideration. In addition to adults, we have positions on most of our advisory boards for high school aged youth. So we encourage students to apply as well. Applications will be open through May 31st, and then we will conduct interviews in June. And so we hope that everyone considers that. And then I guess I'll just also mention that we had Councilor Burdick and I were here in City Hall this morning for the swearing in of 2 new officers with with many of the staff that's here right now. So, and the chief did a great job, and it was really touching to see the these 2 new officers, with their families, loved ones, and how much it really means to them to be here as a part of this city in particular. So it was great. And then of course most of us were there yesterday for the ribbon cutting of the Ferry Road project, which is another huge milestone. And thank you all for attending. I know that for the community members who attended that, it was very meaningful to a lot of the folks who have spent decades, and we even two community members who actually died in between when the thing started and it reached completion. So it is unfortunate they weren't able to see that, but just it's such a just really demonstrates all the cooperative efforts between the business community, the city, and the neighborhoods, and all the excellent work too that the staff did over these past 2 years amidst the pandemic and everything else. To get that project done, they really did a phenomenal job. So we thank you, and I mean it's a huge thing. We were commenting out. It was in the '60s was the last time we celebrated Boone's Ferry Road when it went from a 2-lane to a 4-lane. So it's great. Yeah, we'll see what happens 2 generations from now. Okay, Councilor Mans, what do you got for us?
Unfortunately, we don't get skydivers and
Prancing horses.
that are up at any upcoming Boone's Ferry Days event, but that's, we'll see what happens,
July.
right? I just wanted to mention, for those who may be interested, that we had our quarterly meeting with Lake Oswego Tiger Water Partnership Oversight Committee, and it was a very productive meeting, and I would ask that anyone who's interested in the water partnership, whether it be my colleagues or the public at large, to check out the website. If you have very specific questions, Erica Rooney, our Director of Engineering, can answer them, or of course, Martha Bennett, our City Manager. But it's a strong, healthy partnership that we are fortunate to have in these interesting water times. That's it, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Anyone else? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Ms. Bennett?
Joe.
Councilor Ruddick.
I just want to do a shout out to the students who put on the Asian Cultural Festival on Saturday up at the high school. It was a completely student-led initiative, and they did a fantastic job. And I just wanted to congratulate them and thank them for putting on such an amazing event.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, Councilor.
Yeah, no, I just want to recognize the Youth Leadership Council, what they're doing. Monday we were at the fire on Westlake, the fire station. It was wonderful. I learned how to put out fire with a sprinkler, with a extinguisher. Who's done it here? Two, so you gotta go next time. It was great. All the students, now when there is a fire, we can put it out. And so it's an opportunity for me to thank the fire marshal and the great work they're doing. They show us live the fire that happened. We watched it. It was very tragic, but also it showed their professionalism, and it's great. So Charity again and Jamie, kudos. They're the best of the best. So
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Bennett.
Just a couple of small things, since the mayor did most of my report for me, which is great. First, I do want to do a shout out to Lake Oswego Police Department, because those of you who were at the swearing in heard that over the weekend they got a call about a 5-year-old child who wasn't breathing, and so our officers performed CPR. The child was transported to the hospital, but the officers got the child breathing again, so it's pretty impressive what our officers are able to do. It's no law enforcement there, just good work with our community members. The other thing I wanted to mention is the Municipal Grant Committee met yesterday, and we will be sending out, after their conversation, a letter to all the folks who applied, inviting all of the nonprofits that applied to provide more information to the committee, because the committee reacted to the fact that there's a sort of varying degree of detail in the applications. So just in case you hear from anyone who applied, the same letter is sent to everyone, and it's just an invitation. It's not a judgment. It's more of just, if you have supplemental information that would help the committee make a better decision, they would like the opportunity for the nonprofits to provide it. So stay tuned otherwise on that. Also, I will say on that topic, some of the folks who applied this year for municipal grants might actually be better candidates for the ARPA dollars. So to the extent that you talk to anybody who is concerned, I think those ARPA dollars have some greater flexibility for folks who are doing things to help people adjust to the economic or social impact of the pandemic. And so we will also be letting the folks who applied for municipal grants know that perhaps the ARPA dollars might be a better fit.
Mm-hmm. Right. Great. Thank you so much. Questions? Okay. All right. With that, we're going to move into executive session. We have a few items to discuss, and I'll ask Attorney Luce to read us in.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. At this time, the Lake Oswego City Council will meet under authority of ORS 192.660. There's 3 separate items to be discussed. The first falls under subsection D, which is to conduct deliberations with persons designated to carry on labor negotiations. The second and third will be under subsections E and F, which is consider deliberations with persons designated to negotiate real property transactions and records that are exempt from law from public inspection. The public is not invited to view this section of the meeting. Certain members of the media may not observe the first part of it, but may observe the second and third items. And I can work with any members of the media to let them know when they can come back in.
Okay, thank you. We will, we're going to be meeting in council chambers. We'll take a brief 5-minute recess to secure the room and we'll reconvene then. Thank you.